Item number 8.
I'll take this one, Mr Chairman. We have spoken about this in workshop with you. Essentially, this is a proposal to kick off a plan change to the district plan, which will allow election signage on private property, both for local body elections, health board elections and national elections when the time comes. At the moment we're in a situation, as has been highlighted to you, that election signs may not always meet the rules of the district plan depending on the zone that they're placed in. So the intention of this plan change is to put that right, to change the definitions, to bring it in line with the national legislation. So it's a very mechanical item, Mr Chairman, and take that item.
Thank you, Mr Green. Councillor Park?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm totally for being allowed election signs, but we've set up an ad hoc committee to deal with the bylaws and different parts of that workshop to deal with these things. Is there any particular reason why this is being presented as a separate agenda item than going to that ad hoc committee for bylaws, etc.?
Yes, in that this is a district plan change,
Right.
and by law it has to be full council that makes that decision.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions or queries, Mr Green?
Councillor Boston, Mr Green, that there means on 8 part 2 we'll have a second of the hearing will have accredited people to hear it.
Again, the legislation requires that, yes.
So this resolution is actually putting something into action that the hearing will take place.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Green. Any other questions? Okay. Suggested recommended resolution there. Thank you, Councillor Krasowski, seconded by Councillor Hackman. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Item number 9. Adoption of the grants and partnerships policy. Headley.
Good afternoon, everyone. So just a couple of things to add from the agenda item and the attached draft policy. You'll note that we had some good discussion in the last workshop around how we could possibly implement this policy in terms of the current distributors that we have and also going forward to the next LTP. So there's a section been added to the draft policy which is titled Transitional Provisions, which deals with some of those issues. The second point I'll raise is around in the list of in the community grants criteria list of what people can and can't apply for. There's a note in there around wages and salaries on an ongoing basis. So I've just raised the fact that there are obviously already grants being distributed by the current distributors for those. So that could just cause some concern for some community groups if those changes came in immediately for the next funding rounds. And then the final one is just a change to, so it's under funding, the funding section, item number 9, this is in the actual draft policy. As it's written there at the moment, it says all funding will be GST inclusive. Just amending that line to be, so taking out all, and it will be, the line will say funding will be GST inclusive if the recipient is GST registered. So just a minor wording change on that. Other than that, I'll take it as read and happy to take any questions.
Okay, thank you. Headley. Right. Any questions of Headley?
Well, effectively, Mr Chairman,
Councillor Body.
Andy, you mentioned that wages and salaries, that would then refer to somewhere like lakes and waterways, which basically goes, I think, council so that would then, if we pass that,
They currently have a service agreement with us, which will remain in place until the next
Which retains wages.
They're entitled to use that as the excellence.
Councillor Hickley.
Yeah, just under that same section, Anthony, I see you've got D, overseas travel. Well, Sports Advisory Council supports sports people to travel overseas quite regularly.
Okay.
We get applications because they're in certain categories of sporting events. So I'm a little bit concerned about that being an exclusion.
Yeah, happy for that. I mean, that list was the one we discussed at the last workshop, so, and it was on there then. I'm happy, obviously, it's at your discretion.
Yeah, I know they can use the ground, so it's not a part of the trip, but
yeah.
all I'm saying is that we do get quite a lot of grants, but
Especially for sporting, when they're
Especially
named
for
national
sporting.
team, it's completely
Yeah.
absent.
yeah,
So can that be in the service agreement, or do you want, is it in the policy?
Oh, this would be, so that's not part of the service agreement, that would be part of the community grants criteria, and whether someone
Criteria.
could apply to a
Okay.
distributor for overseas travel.
So could you put in certain situations or something like that?
We could, or we could remove it
Or you could
altogether.
just remove it
I'd
totally.
like to see it
Okay,
removed.
yeah, happy to remove it if everyone's in favour of removing
Yep,
it.
we'll get that. Is everyone happy with that? Cool. Okay, councillor Truman.
So on 9/6, it's under community grant accountability, so 24. So previously it said they had to complete their accountability form within 12 months of receiving a grant, and now it's changed to within 3 months of utilising the grant. But is there still a cut-off? Like what if they just, 12 months was a kind of like, 12 months to do it, now it's like what if they don't do anything with it? Or do you know, is there a cut-off that says, okay, you had that time frame now, you've
So
done it?
if they don't utilise the grant.
Yeah.
Previously, in 12 months, you have to send the money back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the actual, distributors had to return the money to council. If in this instance they've distributed their grant, the point there was that we were concerned that if we waited 12 months, they could have lapsed over into a potentially a new funding round. So we decided that 3 months of utilising, actually using the grant was a more appropriate time frame, but happy to amend that if you prefer.
This is to return it to the distributors,
No, so this is for a person who's received the grant, so just a member of the community who's received the grant. We require them to complete a form, which will then go back to the distributor to say how they use that grant within that period of time. That for then will lead through to the distributor providing a report back to council under the other criteria for those that reporting for distributors.
So if,
So it's two phases of the accountability. There's the accountability from the person who's received the grant back to the distributor, and that has to be within 3 months of them getting the grant. And then
it
there's
says, we'll see this over in 3 months of utilising the grant.
of using the grant.
Yeah, but what if they just get it and then hold on to it? You know, what if they're waiting for something, some quote, and it just like drags out and they haven't actually spent it?
So in the past, it get up to 12 months. So basically, this is reducing it to 3 months, isn't it?
This is specifically for the person who's received the grant. It's not for the distributors who are the ones that have to.
So what's Kirsty saying is, what say they don't use that, the recipient
Yeah,
doesn't use the
I
money.
get that. Yeah.
So at this stage, they've got to use the money in 3 months, basically.
No,
No,
it doesn't say that.
no.
Report within 3 months.
They have to provide a report back to the distributor.
So they're utilising and using it or not?
Well, it should be. That's what we.
So that's what we're trying to
taking it as
clarify.
being. Yeah.
So just saying, is there a time frame around it, say you had 12 months, so give it back now. You had your chance to use it.
So you're saying it should be tied into
A time
using
frame,
it?
yeah, because otherwise it could be,
Yeah.
I was waiting for a quote, or...
What's normally happened previously is that if the funds haven't been used within that 12 months, because there's the accountability that comes back, then there's that conversation with the recipient to say, why haven't you spent it? Is it likely you're going to spend it within the next short period of time? And if not, then we require the funding to come back.
Yeah, but this no longer gives a 12-month.
Yeah, so what you're suggesting is 12 months is too long because it gets into the next funding.
It could do. Yeah. Yeah.
See, there's
What Kirsty's saying is there's still no time frame in which they have to use it.
3 months.
No.
Is it worth having the 3 months and the 12 months?
Yeah, it could. So you could have there then to complete the form within 3 months of utilising the grant,
Or 12 months maximum?
or 12 months in total.
For
using
using
the
the
grant.
problem before trying to get PQs made, and like you can't necessarily just get them made straight away, you know, sometimes it takes
When you're
2
applying,
years.
applying for external funding can take 8 months, 9 months, so 3 months is quite tight to use around.
Yeah, and sometimes you apply for it now, but you're not due to pay something until 8 months away, and you need that money
Does that
to know
cover
you've got
3
it.
months, 3 means 12 months?
Yeah, and I think that works, but otherwise it's just not going to work.
Yeah. Right with that, Adam?
Yes.
But usually the money needs to be spent within that 12 months, otherwise it goes back to the owner.
That sentence needs
Sorry,
rewording.
Councillor Hector.
It's not right.
Hadley,
Yes.
I just need to get my mind around this community grant criteria, 21 and 22, purely because previously we've talked about Turangi with Wakamani, Mangakino with Wakamani, and Taupo with those distributors. This particular statement in 22 more or less implies to me that anyone in the district can apply to any of those distributors we are.
And that was the feedback that we'd had.
Well, I know that's what was discussed at the workshop,
Workshop, yeah.
but I'm uncomfortable with that personally.
Yeah, I agree with Councillor Hackling, because Turangi get their money and it is for the Turangi groups. That's why they don't apply to Waiwara House. Because we know our community, we know our community groups, so that goes there. If it's done, that's why we don't apply to Waiwara House. They don't know our community. Waiwara House are picked to do that up there here because they know their community. And Mangakino's group know their community, so they do that funding, and I agree, it doesn't sit right.
Through the chair though, didn't we discuss that there were overarching groups who would have a benefit in all camps, and this wasn't to exclude them? That's
Yeah,
why we
there
did it.
is, and that's how it works now.
Yes, but that's why we wrote it this way, so that people don't feel they're excluded.
Because you need to go back to what your guiding principles are of your community grants policy. And I think the way that it currently reads will satisfy those principles. I mean, at the end of the day, as the people who sit on the committee, you have the discretion to make your selection there and then. And
So is it possible for a whole lot of local people to turn up from Turangi grants around applying for
Yes.
funds?
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
wording it
Yes.
as
Through the
now.
chair,
That's what we're trying to probably do.
I suppose though, that people, they go to people like, we were Taupo to Council Tina, and they go to Cornelia in Turangi for help and assistance. That's their role to steer them to which group they should be applying to.
Yeah,
But there's
that's
nothing to
not
stop
what
somebody
that says.
putting
I
an
know, but-
application in.
That's not what it says.
I think you're drilling too much down into it.
Well,
I think the other thing too is that we can't think of the current distributor structure as